Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making one of my favorite go-to recipes. It's a bacon wrapped pork tenderloin and it is absolutely delicious. And I have to say, it's super simple. This is a great weeknight meal or weekend meal or even something you can make for entertaining. It is that good. Well, I'm starting with just a simple rub. This is something that I also use on my ribs. It's very easy. Now you can use any rub that you like, but if you don't have a go-to rub, I'm going to show you one that is delicious on pork. This is dark brown sugar, and I'm using 2 tablespoons. I'm also using a tablespoon of seasoned salt. You can also use regular kosher salt if you like. And that is going right into my sugar. And last, just to give it a hint of smokiness since we're cooking it in the oven, and by the way, you can definitely put this on your smoker or your grill. So good. I'm using a tablespoon of smoked paprika. There we go. Now this is probably going to be a little bit more than I actually need for this pork tenderloin, but I will definitely save any that's left over and use it next time. Now I'm just mixing this together. I can already smell the smokiness in that paprika. This looks perfect. Now I'm setting this aside and I'm going to get started on this pork loin. Now this is a pork tenderloin. It's the tender part of the loin. You can also use a larger pork loin if you'd like to for this recipe. Of course, you'll have to adjust the cooking time. But on pork tenderloin, there is this what we call silver skin. You don't have to remove this, but removing it is definitely an advantage because it makes the pork even more tender. This silver skin has a tendency to be just a little bit chewy, so I'm going to take it off. You just hold that and just cut. This looks perfect. Now, I'm going to take some of this rub, just get this all over this loin. Now I did have a good bit of that left over, but like I said, it is not going to waste. Yeah. This brown sugar is so good. It caramelizes just a little bit, and it's the perfect combination for pork. This looks fantastic. Now comes the bacon part. I've got 6 pieces of bacon, and you can definitely cut this bacon in half, but for this size pork loin, I think this is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is set my pork loin right on top of this bacon, and I'm just going to fold over my edges and get this started. This bacon is not only going to add lots of flavor, but it's going to add some moisture. The pork tenderloin doesn't have a lot of fat, and the fat is what makes it tender and a little bit juicy. So this bacon is going to serve dual purposes. Not only is it going to taste good, but it's going to keep this nice and moist and tender. Now, I am going to roll just a little bit, and I'm going to take the remaining pieces and I'm folding this under. I should have rolled it the other way so that you could have seen it on your side. Oh, hindsight's 20/20. Look at that. See? There we go. Just pull and wrap. And voila, there we go. Now I'm going to take just a little bit more, not much, and just sprinkle some more of that rub along the top. And I'm going to push this together And look, we've got our bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. Now I have some toothpicks here, but honestly, I don't think that I'm going to need them. I'm going to place this in my cast iron skillet, and you can also use just any type of shallow baking dish that you have. And I'm putting the seam side down. I'm tucking these ends under. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and for a tenderloin this size, it's going to cook for about 30 minutes. I am going to check the temperature, and I'm looking for 155 to 160 for a well done tenderloin. Now, if you'd like yours a little on the medium size, then of course reduce your cooking time. So this is going to go in, and next I'm going to show you how to make delicious sauce to go with this. That tenderloin already smells so good, and you know what? It's delicious just like that. You can take it out of the oven and slice it up and serve it just as it is, but I am going to show you how to boost that into something spectacular. Now I have a half of a cup of barbecue sauce. This is just our favorite barbecue sauce, and I am adding 2 tablespoons of raspberry preserves. This is a seedless raspberry. I prefer the seedless, but for obvious reasons, I don't want to pick the seeds out of my teeth after I eat. Now I'm just going to stir this together. And this barbecue sauce obviously just adds a smoky, savory element, and the raspberry preserves give it this sweet note that is perfect with that pork tenderloin. Now, since we're cooking this in the oven, I'm going to add a little bit more of a smoky hint to it. 2 drops of some liquid smoke, and this is going to give it even more of a smoky flavor. Like I said, this is perfect for the grill or your smoker, but it's been in the 30s here in Dothan, Alabama, and neither myself nor my husband want to go outside and put this on the grill. So the liquid smoke is going to be our grill tonight. Now, I just want to taste this and see if I got the ratio right. That is so good. The raspberry preserves don't make it sweet, but there's just a tiny bit of sweetness in there, and it is perfect. Now, in about 20 minutes into my cooking time, I'm going to drizzle this on my pork tenderloin. I'll see you back here when we do that. Look at this. Y'all, it smells amazing. Now, like I said, you can serve it just like that, and I will say it's delicious. But when you drizzle this over the top, it's going to be even better. Yum. I can hardly wait. Now this is going back into the oven for, let's say, another 7 to 10 minutes. I just want this sauce to set in with that bacon and caramelize just a little bit. And then we're ready to serve this up. Look at this pork tenderloin. Oh, it smells so good. Now I have obviously taken this out of the oven and I've let it rest a few minutes. You'll always hear me say with casseroles and proteins and really cakes, so many things, you need to let it rest before you cut into it. It's super important to let those juices redistribute. And speaking of juices, look at this. Don't think that that's going to waste. I'll show you more about that in just a minute. Look at how perfectly beautiful this is. just going to spoon that right over the top. Ooh. This looks amazing. Now, let's see if it tastes amazing. Look at how tender this is. I'm going to get just a little of that sauce on here. It's savory, just a hint of sweetness, and this tenderloin is so moist and delicious because we wrapped it in this bacon and cooked it in the high temperature. Oh, it's just over the top, y'all. It is so, so good. You're gonna have to try this recipe for yourself. You're a blessing to me. Thanks so much for watching today. Would you press that like button and share this video with your friends? And if you haven't already, subscribe to my Facebook and YouTube page, Kathy's Southern Kitchen. Well, I'm gonna go get the rest of our dinner together. I've got a couple of sweet potatoes in the oven, a nice salad, and we have the perfect dinner. I'll see you next time.